Welcome to Malpractice Podcast.
So, are you ready to get started?
I'm so ready to get started.
I'm Jess.
Are you ready to get started? That's the real question.
Oh,
Whoops.
I was really nervous about introducing myself and making sure we are introduced because we never do. So I was like, are you ready to get started? I'm Jess. Like, that's what I wanted.
I'm Sydnee, and for any first-time listeners out there, we literally always forget to introduce ourselves. So here we are,
But that's us.
being
This
professional.
Is real. This is us.
We never introduce ourselves, and we
Never wash our hair.
never wash our hair. I'm a 4-day type of girl for sure.
My hair is caked with dry shampoo.
Same.
Cake.
Dry shampoo is my literal Lord and Savior. And did you like that?
Yeah.
And also, I think it's important to note that on the 4th day, I know that it's
Christmas?
not good anymore.
Oh, yeah. That's today.
On the 4th day of not washing my hair. I'm like, I know what I've got going on. You know?
I just committed. Like, I'll usually wear a headband and like a real tight bun. And I'm like, don't look.
Tight bun and the Blair Waldorf headband. That's what you do.
That's what I do.
That's your vibe. I'll sometimes throw a full bandana in my hair. A bandana.
You know what's really bad is when you wear a fucking hat.
A hat. A full, like a baseball cap.
That is a day 6 hair.
That's day 6 hair. That's like, bitch, we both know that you need to be washed.
Everybody in this bitch knows.
Everybody knows. But I feel like you look cute with a hat on.
You do.
I look like a boy with a hat on.
Boys can be cute, I'm told. I don't know them, but could be cute.
Wouldn't know from experience, but
Yeah.
can be.
Oh, you guys. I don't feel like a real person because I got back from vacation.
Correct.
And today people were, how do I say this? I doubt any of them listen. You know how older people are like, how was your vacation? Are you glad to be back?
Who is glad to be back?
Thank you. I said, no, I'm not. I deadass just in my meeting.
Who is happy to come back from vacation? I just want to know who.
No.
I want to know why. I want to know what you're doing on vacation that makes you happy to be back at work.
You're not going on the right vacation.
That is not how I go on vacations.
Correct.
How I go on vacations is I might move to this bitch. I might never come back.
You'll never see me.
You'll never see me again.
I was big sad literally in this meeting, and it's like a bunch of like the whatever leadership, and they're like, woo, 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 are you happy?
I know how they are.
And I was like, no. And then I laughed. I was like,
like how you fake
so
laugh,
funny.
How you lie,
I'm like, haha, hilarious. I am.
Who has ever come back from a vacation and been like, wow, I'm so happy. I've been happy to like sleep in my own bed. I've been happy to like be back at my house, but never have I been happy to go back to work and see y'all's faces. Like, that ain't me.
Michelle and I were talking about
not
there
your
are two
face.
different kinds.
Companies' faces.
I get it.
Yeah.
Michelle and I were talking about there are 2 types of vacations. One is like the vacation that's actually like a lot of work that you need like a vacation from, where it's like you're seeing a lot of sights, or you're
busy, you're going
day.
the whole time. Yeah.
And the other one is the vacation where you do nothing and you like come super rested and like glowing and tan like me.
100% agree with that.
And you're just like, like a breath of fresh air. That's the vacation I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a vacation where I was working. I wasn't doing shit. And I was
That's
so
the best
happy.
way to be.
Yes.
I like to do a little combo job where I like the first like 2 or if we're on like a 5-day vacation, the first 2 or 3 days I'll be like jam packed. Like I have a schedule down to the hour, right? Not to the hour. I'm not that psycho. But then I make a spreadsheet, right? And then the second half of the vacation, I'm like, okay, now I want to be mistaken for a dead body on a beach. Like I want to be so out of it that people are like, is she okay?
Yeah.
That's where I want to be the second half of my vacation so that I can come back and deal with y'all's broke asses when you ask me, are you happy to be back?
And no. Yeah, we do usually we do a combo, but for this one, because it was so fucking stressful, the wedding stuff, and it was just like, I want to do nothing.
That's the way to be.
And it was like so nice. This place was so nice. So we going back to do nothing some more. Can
I come?
The shit.
I would love to do nothing.
I invited you while I was there.
You literally invited. Jess called me on the first day of her honeymoon, I think, and was like, hey, you should come here. And her wife was probably like, bitch, are you crazy? Stop inviting her everywhere we go. And I was like,
you should live here.
My plane leaves at 3. Wait, no, I can't come? Okay, well.
No, you can come.
Oh, I will come. We should go back, honestly. We should go to
No, it was so
everywhere.
Nice. Yeah, we should go to everywhere, 100%.
Jess and Michelle went to Florida and did a vacation in Florida, for those of you who don't know.
On the beach.
And I'm going on vacation next week.
Yeah. We about to be out of office next week.
Bye.
So there will be no episode next week. I'll post something so that you remember. I know all of you will be crying, very sad. It'll be just like a very dismal day. Don't worry, we'll be back afterwards.
We will.
But Sydnee's going on a well-deserved vacation with her hubs.
I'm not gonna lie, your girl needs a mental health. It's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Turn up.
And in honor of that, we're taking a mental health break.
Yeah, you need it.
We both need it. We both need a little time to recoup. Feels like we've been on the go for a very long time. We took a very short break between seasons. Maybe we should have extended that. What do I know? But we were both really excited to get back to bringing you guys episodes.
We
do need 1 week. So.
A breakykins.
That's next week.
Yeah, Captain Breakerton.
Breakerton
Town.
You can call me the mayor of Breakerton Town.
Yeah.
Breakerton that's the name of the town, is Breakerton. I'm the mayor. You're the captain of the USS Break Express.
I don't know who the fuck would let me drive whatever that is. Is it a boat? I'm not.
It sounds like a boat to me, but I guess it could be
Sounds like
a submarine. Couldn't be me because I'm claustrophobic.
Either way, I'm crashing that bitch. I don't want to do it.
Either way, it's hitting dry land.
Hitting rocks. Chopping it up.
Hitting rock bottom.
Bottom.
Blah, blah. Are you drunk? Have you been drinking?
No, I'm fucking so... Listen,
because you looked at the
drunk.
camera like...
I look drunk because I have like little baby tired eyes. But I think it's because I'm in mourning for my vacation.
Correct.
So like... Something that's happening right now at work, I'm sure people have experienced this before, is that people are expressing their upsetness to me about things that I do not care about.
Mm-hmm. Happens to me regularly.
Right. You know. So I just have started saying, wow, that's crazy. Whenever they say something.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, oh, this isn't going well. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That phrase made me drunk. Because it's so fucking funny. Because that's not the reaction they wanted.
No.
I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Crazy
Don't
town.
know what shruggaroo. Don't know what to tell you.
I'm the mayor of Shrugtown.
Shruggerton Town. Listen.
Shruggerton Town.
if anyone is ever telling me a story and I say to you in response, wow, that's crazy, that means I did not listen to whatever you just said.
Not a single fucking...
I have not heard a word in minutes. However long you've been talking, I'm tuned out, and I vaguely know that you're complaining about something, but I'm gone. My brain is on a beach. Dead on a beach.
Sydney will do this to me, and I'm like, are you listening to me? And she's like, no, I wasn't.
No, full disclosure, I was not listening.
Twasn't, and will now.
Short. We'll start. I'm like, oof, no,
no,
sorry. Was that important? Because I didn't hear a word you said.
And you can always tell when Sydnee's not listening because she's doing something else at the same time, saying she can multitask. Shouldn't.
My eyes also get like fully glazed over.
Yes. You're thinking about, you and Eric both do that.
In a way that's like, I'm fully not paying attention.
She's not even there. She's not even there. She's attending a meeting in her mind.
Correct.
With all of the people who run Sydnee as an industry.
We're not on the same astral plane. If my eyes have glazed over, we're no longer in the same universe. I'm gone. I'm on Mars. Like, you can't reach me.
Yes.
It's going to take 8 minutes.
SOS. Put up a bat signal because Sydnee ain't there.
I ain't there. And it's very obvious because my face also goes like this. Like, it gets really fucking blank and people are like, woohoo, hello. Sorry.
That's how I always knew. I'm like, Sydnee, are you listening? And she's like, what? Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, just because I know you're short, I'll say again.
Correct. That's accurate. You're really good at lying about listening.
I will be working. I won't even be looking at the Zoom call that I'm on at work. Mm-hmm. I'll be full pages of other shit in front of these people's faces. And they're like, Jessica, what do you think about that? And I'm like, And I'm like, oh, I think that's an interesting point. Like, can you expand? Boop, back up to work.
Boop has an informed opinion instantly. Okay. And away we go. So.
Stop it right now.
Today I want to tell you guys, about the Radium Girls. And this story has it all. A group of bright young women. An evil corporation that only cares about money. Heartbreak brought on by the corporation, tricking said young women into doing horrible things. All the makings of a classic Sydnee story. It's on the fringe of true crime. There's interesting medical stuff, and people fight an evil corporation. Boom, it's me.
Yeah, that's what we're going to put that entire thing on your tombstone.
That's fine. I like it, honestly. All I ever wanted is true crime, people fighting evil corporations.
Do you want to be buried?
No. Fucking sprinkle me in the wind or something.
No.
What? Why?
I'm gonna keep you with me.
Okay.
Eric can have half of you.
I'm sorry. Half of this is legally mine.
No, I'm taking this. You can sprinkle your half if you want to, but I need someone to talk to all the time.
When I die, it's gonna be like a divorce. Like, you and Eric will have to split all my stuff.
That's 100% correct.
I'm fine with it, honestly. I think Eric would be too. He knows what he's about.
He knows.
Yeah.
Your kids will be like, what the fuck? We don't get anything? Correct. Nothing for you.
Correct. You can have half of your dad's stuff.
That's not my business, but this shit is mine.
That's how y'all share that is you. I get all the sweaters.
Oh, absolutely.
We're the same size. Give me those fucking sweaters.
Gimme.
So let's go back to the 1920s, also known as the Roaring 20s. Everyone is living their life just post World War I, and they're ready to party. So The economy is thriving. Jazz is hitting the scene. It's making waves. Everyone is wearing these adorable flapper dresses with, like, I don't know, feathers on their head and shit, right?
Okay, but that style was not good for all body types because a bitch has tried to put that on, and it is not a cute situation. I am a bitch.
If you have any kind of hips, then you immediately look like an exaggerated pear with fringe on you. I know.
Wow, I've never felt more seen by a description. A pear is already, they're pear-shaped, but an exaggerated pear? That fucking hurt my feelings.
I'm so sorry. I know this because I've tried on a flapper dress and been like, bitch, why? No one has hips or what? That's correct.
No, nobody.
No one has hips. That's the moral of the 20s.
They were smoking cigarettes. And they were not fucking hungry.
And doing cocaine. Okay. We talked about that. That's a whole separate topic. Okay, so cars are invented. Phones are invented. White women can vote. Not all women, but white women can vote.
Just the people with my ethnic background.
Correct. They said, show us your ancestry test if you want to vote.
God damn it.
So, and there was one trend that was becoming like all the rage. And those were wristwatches that glow in the dark.
Wow.
Now, to me, I feel like I would be much more excited about cars and phones and voting, but like, there we are, right? People are losing their minds over these watches that had glowing numbers with like hand-painted dials that you could see in the dark.
As you should. As we all did when we were 8 years old.
Correct. Partially people were excited because this could be used in like military stuff, like soldiers could wear watches and see the dials in their planes and whatnot, like now in the dark. So it was a big deal for the average person who just wanted to like see what fucking time it was after 6 p.m. But the military was like, hey-o, now we can do stuff in the dark, right?
We can kill more people. Turn the fuck
Correct.
up.
Correct. So Malpals at home may be thinking to themselves, what chemical did people turn to make all this possible? Was the chemical that they used something super cool and harmless? No, of course not, because that would be a super boring story.
Of course not. Of course not. That's not the way of the world. We're gonna harm people to get what we want.
That's exactly the theme song for this story.
That's
Correct.
the theme song, yeah. Boo boop ba doop. Hurting people physically. Boo boop ba doop. Corporations fucking on other people all the time. Okay, I'll stop.
I love it. TM.
Boo boop.
So the chemical they used was radium, which was originally isolated from uranium by Marie and Pierre Curie in 1989.
Which she was fucking cool.
Correct. We need to do a whole separate story on her.
That's a cool bitch.
We now know that radium is extremely toxic. Y'all may be familiar with the story of Marie Curie, who notoriously died of radiation poisoning, right? Same fucking stuff.
That's the same. She died from the thing that we're talking about that people wore on their wrists. Boop, boop.
So, at the beginning, radium was touted as a glow-in-the-dark wonder drug, being used to treat everything from headaches to arthritis to cancer. So, basically, people started using it a lot.
Oh, God.
It was sold over the counter and even put into water.
Water?
And they sold it as a miracle cure for whatever you needed it to cure. They put it into...
Wait, no. They just...
Yes.
No.
They literally said it cures what ails you. They were like, just whatever the fuck is wrong.
You know that TikTok that's like, oh no, oh no,
yes.
Oh no, no. That's me right now in the story, you guys.
They put the shit into makeup, medications, livestock feed, and literally everything in between. They actually at one point started calling it liquid sunshine. Okay? The companies that put it in makeup told consumers it would make their skin glow, which is technically true, but it also poisons them in a horrifying way.
Oh my God, no. Why? Why do people put chemicals on their faces?
Right. So radiation is produced by radium producing an electric current as it decays or putting off electrons. When this is strong enough to electrify the air around the source or the radium, that's what causes it to glow in the dark. We now know that being around radiation is extremely damaging, but they had, quote unquote, no idea at the time, right? Even though Marie Curie had already died at this point, whatever. Who am I to say?
What did her autopsy say? Did it say, like, of radiation?
She died of radiation poisoning. Like, they knew.
Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
Right. So radium starts casting this luminescent glow, and it gets put into paint that gets used on these watches to make them glow in the dark. And before mass automation existed, when companies needed large quantities of in-demand items produced, they hired, people to make it. And by people, I mean...
cheap labor.
Right. Usually poor young women to work in factories.
Yep.
And these jobs paid extremely well. If you worked in a radium factory, you got paid 3 times higher than other jobs at the time.
You risking your life, you get a raise.
Yes. But it was also considered kind of prestigious to be a radium girl because radium was like glamorous and mysterious. And so people were like, oh, it's cool that you work with that.
Right. It's
cool. And dial painting, they called it the elite job for poor working girls. So
who are they marketing to?
They want young women to apply to their company, basically.
They're like, are you poor and young? This is a cool job for you. Like, I'm sure that's exactly what
That's exactly what they did.
Ad looked like.
It was also in the 1920s when women were getting into the labor force for the first time, including World War I. Women were entering the workforce in large quantities, and so the idea that they could have this financial independence and they could contribute to their household financially was like a big deal for them. And so corporations that would pay them 3 times higher, it was like a really big deal.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that the Radium Girls were also making more money than everyone else around them.
I see.
So, when the U.S. Radium Corp wanted to produce thousands of glowing watches, they hired young women to paint the numbers and dials with this radium paint. They told the young women that they had to be extremely precise, so they encouraged a practice called lip pointing, where the women would take a tiny camel hair paintbrush and put it between their lips to make a finer point. They called the routine the lip dip paint routine. So you would twist it in your mouth to make a fine point, dip it in the radium paint, paint on a number, and then put it in your mouth again.
With the paint on it?
Correct.
What? Wait, also, when you described that the first time, I thought that they painted with their mouths.
No, they painted with a camel hair paintbrush, but they put it in their mouth.
Like, I thought it was in their mouth. Like, they were holding it with their mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, wow, fucking that is talent.
Yeah, honestly, that would be so talented. Also, why didn't they use their arms? That's so weird. What a weird requirement.
Yeah, that they were just like...
No, they just they put it in their mouth to make the tip of the paintbrush finer, basically. So they're eating radium.
They ate paint.
Right.
Who would ever think that was a great idea? Raise your hand.
These people. So it made the brushes perfect for painting really small numbers on a watch face. What it also did is expose the women to radium paint every time they painted a new number. Most of the women were painting 12 numbers on upward of 200 watches per day.
God damn.
And making about 5 cents per watch. And they would even give out radium water as a prize for girls who painted the most dials in a month. So they were like, cool, you like radium? We put some radium on your radium.
Would you like some radium with a side of radium? And I'll sprinkle a little radium on top.
Because we heard you like radium. Okay. But remember, at this point in time, it's being sold as like a miracle cure for stuff. So people are like, well, it's safe, right?
Yeah.
One of the young women hired to do this job was Amelia Molly, she goes by Molly Maggia, who began to suffer from regular toothaches after working in the plant for only a little while. Although she's only 24 years old, the pain began spreading to her jaw and joints, eventually leading her to have most of her teeth pulled, leaving bloody, painful ulcers in the place of her teeth.
Okay. Warning.
Oh, I should have given a warning. If you don't like gross stuff, skip ahead, I don't know, the whole episode.
See you next time.
So her doctor was like, well, you have rheumatism, and he gave her some aspirin and sent her home.
Wow. Her jaw's all fucked up, all her teeth are being pulled, and he's like, you have this thing. Here's some aspirin.
Arthritis, basically. Yes, and he's like, here's some aspirin.
What an asshat.
So she was like in excruciating pain, and during one dental visit, her jawbone literally fell off into her doctor's hand when he touched it. She was literally falling apart.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Yes.
Her jawbone disconnected and fell into her doctor's hand, and he gave her some goddamn aspirin.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
So if everyone wasn't already cringing at that...
Everyone should be cringing. This is cringe-worthy.
If you're not cringing, A of all, something is wrong with you. But if you're not already cringing...
Skip to next week.
The doctors told her that the disease that was causing her symptoms was syphilis. Now, we've covered the symptoms of syphilis on this show because that's where we are as a group.
We love to talk about sex-based infections like syphilis. And people stay with us.
That is correct. In case anyone doesn't remember, though, it starts with these hard but painless sores on your mouth and or genitals, which can come with flu-like symptoms, and it eventually leads to a dementia-like loss of your faculties, right? It's been known to attack and cause pain in the bones, but Molly didn't have any of the other symptoms. What I think happened...
Also, she had painful sores, right?
Yes.
Not painless.
And her fucking jaw
fell off.
That should be your clue.
That's not in this list of shit.
That is not in anyone's list of shit, correct?
That's a different clue.
So what I think happened, allegedly... is that these doctors were in on the take, and I think they were being paid by the U.S. Radium Corporation to tell the women that they had syphilis, hoping that they would be too embarrassed to ask any questions or tell their families.
That makes fucking sense.
Right.
That the medical community was in with the corporations, drinking fucking radium.
It goes all the way
to these
to
people.
the top, is all I have to say.
I always feel like that.
So
I always feel like that.
Same. So when Molly goes and gets 3 other opinions, and she didn't hear any other diagnosis. She passed away in 1922 after months of suffering and died with her entire family thinking that she died of syphilis.
Damn. You know what would suck is if you were a virgin.
Correct. Her family was like pretty positive that there was no way the responsible woman that they knew would have contracted this particular STI, which was pretty rare. But they also didn't want their family to be scandalized, so when syphilis was listed as her cause of death, they just buried her quietly and didn't fucking say anything.
The disrespect.
Right. And I think that the doctors and the corporations together literally used the social stigma associated with sexually transmitted infections like syphilis to stop women from coming forward with their stories.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And so these women are just like quietly dying of radiation poisoning.
What the fuck?
When they asked their bosses for recommendations of doctors that they could go see, company doctors would happily treat them, i.e. give them a fake diagnosis that had nothing to do with radiation poisoning. And I think they often use syphilis because a lot of these women have syphilis listed as their cause of death. But it's been proven that at least some of these women were seen by people who were not even actually doctors.
That honestly does not even surprise me. That is some bullshit.
They were seen by like executives in the company, and the examinations were straight up just a ruse as part of the company's campaign to spread disinformation about how safe radium was.
I have no words. I actually have lots of words, but
correct.
You're going to cut them out if I start cussing out everyone. Can't just go calling everyone a cunt.
You can't. You really can't. I had to bleep it last time.
I want to. You should bleep it this time.
I probably will. So, 2 days after Molly's death, Ottawa, Illinois opened up another radium factory called the Radium Dial Company, bringing hundreds of jobs to the area for young women. In their ad, they said you had to be older than 18 to apply, but they quickly began hiring women as young as 15.
God damn.
Yeah. As young women flooded into the Victorian-style building to start working, some of them worried about the safety of working with radium. So Mercy Reed, the person who was training them, demonstrated how safe it was by scooping up a spoonful of this rare element and swallowing it whole.
And then died.
She 100% died. But she was like, look how safe it is. I'll eat a whole spoonful.
Honestly.
And they were like, okay, well, if she's doing it, it has to be safe, right? No, they just didn't tell her it was unsafe either.
No one cares about you if you're a woman. Get it through your heads.
Yeah, get it through your heads, 1920s.
Well, I would fucking never survive.
Same. So Molly Maggia and the rest of the girls painted their faces, their nails, their teeth, and they would bring in their party dresses and throw radium up into the air and sprinkle it on their hair and dresses before they went out, so people would know they were the Radium Girls.
Aww.
They would like fluff their hair under the paint to like make it glow. And some people eventually started calling them the Ghost Girls. We'll talk more about that later, but basically these girls start glowing from inside out.
And their jaws fall off.
It is crazy.
Zombie girls.
Yes. There's another girl working in this factory named Irene Rudolph, and her symptoms matched Molly's, and the doctors thought that she had this thing called Fossey jaw, which is basically something that they found to be like a toxic poisoning that happens when people worked in match factories.
Eat radium.
Well, in match factories. So they worked with phosphorus that lights the match. And so it basically caused necrotic bone loss in your jaw. So your bone starts dying in your jaw. So they diagnosed her with Fossey jaw, but they were like, wait, there's no phosphorus in this paint. So how can that be? Irene was only 21 years old, and her body started literally decaying from the inside.
God damn it.
They worked at the same factory, but Irene's cousin, Catherine Schaub, was her ally throughout this whole thing. And because she worked at the same place, she had heard about Molly's death via rumors, and she saw Irene's illness from her bedside. She was standing by her the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then Catherine began experiencing her own symptoms. Her teeth started hurting, right?
Her teeth? Run!
Yes. So she noticed the pattern, and she filed a report with the Department of Health one day after her cousin Irene's funeral.
Oh, God.
Right.
A government agency?
She came in and was basically like, I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that something at the U.S. Radium Corporation is killing these women in a really gruesome way. Like, people knew that Molly's jaw fell off. So the Department of Health called the VP, whose name is Harold Veit, and they literally just took his word that nothing was wrong. Cool.
I know. we have a question about your corporation. We'll just call someone who works there and we'll say, is everything cool? And they'll say yes. And then we'll close the chapter.
Correct.
That's not even an investigation. That's a check-in. Hey, how you doing? That's a coffee talk.
Hey, Harold, just listening to these dumbass girls talk about something that's not true. It's not true, right? And Harold is like, nah, dog, it's never been true. And he's like, okay, cool. See you at golf, bud.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Because at this point, like 10 young women have died. And remember that they're like 20 years old. Like nothing like this should be happening to them.
Doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. So an investigation made by the Consumers League of New Jersey would eventually demonstrate that the radium that Schaub had ingested at work caused necrosis, joint deterioration, anemia, and cancers that would cause her to die at the age of 31.
Jesus.
Following these findings, the factory told the girls to stop lip pointing or putting the paintbrush in their mouth, which, like, okay, great. But they told them not that it was unsafe, but it was because their spit was affecting the adhesive properties of the paint.
So they still did it, some of them.
Correct. A lot of them did.
Yeah.
Because it was easier.
Yeah.
And so everyone at this point in this one factory starts going to see the same dentist, Dr. Barry. And they all sit down together with him and they all realize that they have the same symptoms. They're like, our teeth are all hurting. Our bones are literally breaking at like the smallest touch, especially their jaw bones.
That is some crazy. Your jawbone breaking?
Correct.
Mayday. That is zombie stuff.
First of all, if you work at a company and they tell you to put something in your mouth to do your job, quit immediately.
I cannot think of one thing besides like a taste tester.
If you're not a food critic, get the fuck out when they say put this in your mouth. Get out of there.
Unless it's sex.
It's not
unless
okay.
It's sex work, which we respect.
We respect it. And even then, be careful about it.
If it's radium, don't do that shit.
Don't do it. So Dr. Barry, this dentist, is like, y'all all need to quit your jobs. But many of these women had fought hard to get and keep these jobs. And as one of the first generations of women to join the workforce,
yeah.
Despite knowing that something inside the factory was killing them, many of these women kept working because they were enjoying having a job and they enjoyed financial freedom.
Like, not everyone has the luxury of just quitting our fucking jobs.
Right. Totally true. I feel like, though, had they known exactly what they were risking, they may have thought twice about getting a different job.
I think it's like the same thing when they didn't have standards in manufacturing and industrial practices, and people would, like, get crushed by machines and people still went to work. They were like, well, like, I'll just be more careful.
I'm not going to go next to that machine. Right.
But they still have to go to work, you know, and especially if they're poor people, they're like, the fuck am I supposed to do instead?
And that's probably why they offered them so much money, because these women were like, I literally need the money.
100%. That's how you get people to do anything.
Money. Dollar bills. I think it's also easier in the light of like 2021 to be like, well, they should make practices safer, but like there was no standard. Like you said, there was no standard for like treating your workers well. Like you just didn't have to do it, so people didn't.
It's true.
Which is crazy. So by this point, some of the Ottawa painters from Erderer were suffering from agonizing illnesses like crippling sarcomas, crumbling jawbones, crushed spines, amputated limbs, and other maladies. And like I said, some women would have bones break at like the slightest touch, especially their jawbones.
That shit, I'll never get over that.
Yeah.
I'll never get over it. I'll never be well again.
Same. Also, there are pictures. Woof.
I will not.
You shouldn't. It's like, the problem is that it's not like no one knew this was possible. Like Marie Curie herself had suffered from radiation burns handling radium. And all of the men at the radium companies wore lead aprons in their laboratories and handled the radium with ivory-tipped tongs. Yet the dial painters were told they had nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Because, again, remember...
Because they're women.
Well, at this time, also, the radium companies are telling people that small amounts of radium is actually beneficial to your health.
Mm-hmm.
Which is equally crazy. They're telling this to the general public, which is wild. Newspapers reported that its use would add years to your life, but the studies that went into these false claims were performed and paid for by radium companies who were making a fortune on the public belief that it was healthy.
Yeah, we've seen this shit before.
Correct. The U.S. Radium Corp would continue to claim no responsibility for the women's deaths for years, after years of ignoring the quote-unquote gossip that was costing them tons of money, because eventually there's a downturn in public consumption of radium.
Yeah, you can only stand a couple dozen jawbones falling off before you're like, wait a fucking minute.
We got a problem here. So, in 1924, the company finally commissioned an expert to look into whether dial painting could be causing these women's deaths. And this was an independent study not done by scientists on their payroll.
Wow, I imagine they found something different.
Go figure. It's like when Oscar Mayer finds that, like, processed meat is good for you. I'm like, okay, well, Oscar Mayer found that. They make hot dogs. Of course they did. That's exactly what the fuck is happening here.
Yeah.
So this study confirmed the link between working with radium and experiencing radiation poisoning. Go fucking figure. So the company's president did what any true bastard would do. He lied about it and then paid to fund a different study with the opposite findings. He also publicly denounced the women, saying that they were trying to pass off their illnesses onto the firm and saying that they basically just wanted money for their own poor decisions that led them to become ill. Remember that the doctors are telling these people that the women are dying of syphilis.
Yes, he's trying to sex shame these workers who didn't even need to be, they didn't even do anything.
So it was their word against his.
What did he do here? Did he sexually harass them?
I don't know, but I hate it.
What do we call
Victim
this?
blaming for sure. There's a legal terminology for what he did.
Victim blaming for sure, but there's got to be something
I
else.
feel like sex shaming should also be illegal.
Yeah, he's a bastard. You were correct.
This guy's a fuckwad for sure.
1,000. I agree.
Love that.
Fuckwad. Love that.
So basically it's their word against his, but the women are not ready to give up yet.
Good.
They were going to fight this company until the bitter end. In 1925, a doctor named Harrison Martland developed tests that proved once and for all that radium had poisoned these women, and what he was able to prove is exactly why radium exposure is so toxic.
Shout out.
One's inside the women's bodies, usually through their mouths, because they're doing the lip pointing.
What does radium taste like? What does this paint taste like?
They said it tasted chalky and like sandy. It has like a sandy consistency.
Just so we're clear, everyone, nobody needs to put any paint in their mouths.
Please don't, ever, even if it doesn't have radium in it. So, okay.
Yes.
So basically, once inside their bodies, their bones would internalize the radium instead of the calcium that bones normally take in. And that's what makes bones hard.
Oh.
So once inside their bones, the radium would continue degrading, emitting more radiation, basically poisoning them from the inside. So that's why so many of them had like cancers.
Yeah.
Because so many of the girls had done the lip pointing technique, they were literally swallowing radium, making their teeth and jaws incredibly brittle.
That makes sense now.
Once it was embedded in their bones, the radium would also glow from the inside of their bodies, so anyone who caught sight of them at night would literally see a glowing skeleton inside their skin.
That's fucking crazy.
And that's why they started being called the Ghost Girls, because they looked like ghosts.
Don't like that. I don't like that.
Because radium dial painters were still being employed by hundreds of companies across the company, many of the girls who were slowly dying kept fighting legal battles.
As you should.
In New Jersey, one of Molly's colleagues, now dealing with health issues of her own, named Grace Fryer, commented, "It is not for myself I care. I am thinking more of the hundreds of girls to whom this may serve as an example."
Aww.
Part of the women's issue was finding a lawyer who was ready to take on a giant, wealthy radium company. And part of their issue was...
I love that.
And part of their issue was a statute of limitations, which at the time ruled that victims of occupational poisoning had to bring their legal cases within 2 years. But most of the girls didn't start to show symptoms until after they had worked at the company for like 5 years.
Yeah, that's just another way that corporations lobby the government to fuck everyone over.
100%, but they fucked on the wrong person because Grace's father was a union delegate.
Good.
So she found herself leading the charge to get justice. Grace, along with 4 other women from the factory, found a lawyer named Raymond Berry in 1927 who would take their case. At this point, all 5 women had been given less than 4 months to live, so in what is truly...
Goddamn!
Correct, in what is truly a dick move, the U.S. Radium Corporation purposely tried to drag out the legal proceedings to outlast the women.
Yeah, I am not even surprised.
When they came to the courtroom, all of them were so sick that none of them could even raise their hands to take the oath. Because of this, each of the women were forced to settle out of court to give their families at least some financial compensation for the insane medical and legal fees that they were all facing.
Yeah.
And although that seems like a somewhat small victory, these girls' court case sent a shockwave through the country. It became a full-on media sensation.
Good.
So then,
and that's the only thing corporations care about, so good for them.
And this is all happening in New Jersey. And then in Ottawa, Illinois, the employees began asking for compensation for their medical and dental bills in like 1927, but management told them no.
What kind of specialist do you go to if your jaw is gone?
Fucking good one, I hope.
I'm stuck on the jaw thing. I will never recover.
If your jaw falls off, go spring for a good specialist.
What is it? Is it like Cali Torres?
Cali Torres. That's osteopathic? No. That's
bones.
Osteologist? Is it osteopaths?
Orthopedic.
Oh my God, thank you. I was like, what is an osteopath?
Osteopath.
That's like a DO. It's like people go to MD or DO school, whatever. Anyway, that's like a whole fucking whatever. Okay.
Derailed.
Correct.
I just derailed.
Fully derailed. It's fine. So the demand for money by sick and dying former employees continued into the mid-1930s before a suit was brought by the Illinois Industrial Commission, because Illinois actually had relatively progressive worker protection at the time.
Because of unions?
In 1930, yes. In 1937, 5 women found an attorney by the name of Leonard Grossman, who actually worked pro bono on the entire case that would represent them.
That's how you know you a hero.
Allies. So in 1938, the IIC ruled in favor of the women, yet the Illinois firm called Radium Dial, like the U.S. Radium Corporation, denied responsibility.
IIC ruled in favor of the women, and the company was like, no.
Correct.
That is some white male energy. They're like, you did this. They're like, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
They just fucking told you that you did it.
And then also they brought forth these medical tests that the company had produced. And they were like, yo, we got these like medical tests from your office. And they're like, no, those results aren't real. They also placed a full ad in the local paper that said, if we at any time had reason to believe that any conditions of the work endangered the health of our employees, we would have at once suspended operations.
A lie. No company would do that. That's a lie.
And it gets even fucking crazier because in an effort to hush the scandal, when the girls' autopsies were being done, company officials stole their bones.
Bitch!
Went to their graves and stole their bones so that they couldn't be tested for radium.
I wish I was fucking surprised, but like, I have an exclamation like bitch, and then I'm like, nah, well.
Yeah, well.
I believe it. I believe it.
I fully believe it. So basically this company, Radium Dial, appealed over and over, like 8 times, taking the case all the way to the Supreme Court. On October 23rd, 1939, the court decided that they would not hear the appeal, and the lower ruling was upheld.
I love it when the Supreme Court does that.
When they're literally like, bitch, I ain't got time for this.
When they're like, nah.
That's a vibe.
You did it.
They right. So in the end, the case had been won over 8 times before the Radium Dial company was finally forced to pay. Also,
crazy.
That happened in 1939. Remember what else was happening in 1939? The fucking Great Depression.
The very Great Depression.
Correct.
Yeah.
So some of the women are being shunned by their friends and neighbors for suing one of the only remaining sources of jobs in their small town.
Yep.
Which is extra bullshit.
Yeppertons. That sucks.
It sucks.
That's a tough place for them to be.
It's such a hard spot to be in. And that's why I'm like, these women were so brave.
They really were. They really were.
The settlement for each of the Radium Girls was $10,000, equivalent to $149,000 in today's money, plus $600 per year annuity, plus $12 a week for the rest of their lives, only while they lived.
While they lived.
Correct. Most of which was like 4 months, you know? So, like,
God.
And the company agreed to pay all of their medical and legal expenses. So that was like the fucking least you can do.
That is the only really good part, because even $149,000 is not enough.
Many of them actually ended up using their earnings in this lawsuit to pay for their own funerals. Several of the girls had so much radiation being emitted from their dead bodies that they had to be buried in lead-lined coffins.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but that's nuts.
Do you want to hear some bullshit? The Radium Dial Company went out of business and reopened under a different name, where it continued producing fluorescent watch dials powered by radioactivity until 1987, when it was closed after an investigation found 1,666 times the allowable amount of radiation in their shop.
Is it 1987 or 1978?
What did I say?
87.
78. Do you want to hear some more bullshit? No one was ever criminally charged.
Are you gonna fuck with the dates?
No. No one was ever criminally charged for the negligence that led to the deaths of all these women. No one was ever criminally charged.
This reminds me of the opioid stuff. This reminds me of that episode. It reminds me of fucking everything, but this really reminds me of how that episode played out when you were describing that to
Company
us.
Officials literally stole these girls' bones.
Mm-hmm.
That's bizarre. If a company asked me to steal someone's bones, I would be like, you are going to have to pay me so much money to do this that it is not going to be worth it for you.
I just feel like it just goes to show you how little they thought about their employees.
If your company came to you right now and said, I need you to go I need you to rob a grave, what the fuck would you say?
I'm not doing that because I'm scared of being haunted. You know this. They could not pay me enough. I'm not doing it.
Can you give me something that makes me haunting proof? No, then I can't do it. I'll never do it.
Because the moment your shovel hits the ground over someone's dead body, you haunted.
Your ass is getting haunted.
And you can't tell me otherwise?
Correct.
And I'm not doing it. That's some paranormal bullshit. You opening a whole grave of bullshit to you. I'm not doing that.
Especially from someone who died in such a bad way. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were basically murdered in my eyes.
1,000% they were murdered. You know I love to throw murdering around. They were murdered.
Murder. If someone was murdered and you dig up their bones, yo ass haunted.
You haunted. And I'm not doing it. You could not. They would be like $10 million. I'm like, nope.
It ain't me.
I'm not getting thrown against the wall by some paranormal demonic shit because you made a mistake. Nope.
Nuh-uh. You better ask Ted. You know he'll do it.
That ain't me. Yeah, that's some Ted bullshit. That's not me.
Ted has no fear of haunting.
Because he's a white man, and white men fear nothing, and I fear everything.
Because the ghost will be like, you uncovered my body, and he'll just be like, no, I didn't.
Yeah, he'll just deny it.
And the ghost will be like, wait, let me double check my notes. Am I wrong?
Right. Because the ghost has more integrity. They want to come correct.
If you come at Ted, you better come correct.
Man, that's fucking nuts.
Because he has no scruples. Okay. So the Radium Girls case was one of the first in which an employer was made responsible for the health of the company's employees.
Good.
It led to, ultimately, life-saving regulations being implemented and ultimately the establishment of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, which now operates nationally in the U.S. to protect workers.
Good.
Before OSHA was set up, around 14,000 people died on the job every year. Today, it's just over 4,000.
Goddamn, that's still a lot.
It's still a lot. So...
OSHA, get it together.
Or, whoever's doing this, whatever. Although no one can put a count on the exact number of women who died at the hands of these companies, estimates are in the thousands. Women who used their last months of life to fight for what they believed in were labor force heroes, and with their dedication and courage, workers everywhere won the right to a safe working environment.
That's so cool, but it's so sad.
It's so sad, but they are authentically heroes because without their lasting impact on workplace regulations, the U.S. Radium Corp and many giant evil corporations exactly like it would have continued to trample workers' rights and treat their employees like guinea pigs for years to come.
Yeah, literally.
There was this one NPR article that stated, "Oops is never a good occupational health policy." And that is the story of the Radium Girls.
And that's what we know about that.
And that's what we know about that. Honestly, isn't that crazy?
I'm not, the jaw thing shook me to my core. Like, I'll never overcome the shock of
Can you imagine
hearing that. No! When I drop my phone, I'm like, oh my God, imagine you drop your jaw.
Literally, jaw drops.
No.
Her jaw dropped, my jaw dropped.
I wonder if that's where that phrase comes from.
Oh, fuck.
Looks it up.
It goes all the way to the top.
Where
of
does
words.
the phrase, I'm looking it up, jaw
I need to know the
drop
answer.
come from? Radium Girls. I'm joking.
No way. Oh. You got me good.
Thanks so much for that. Check us out.
Yeah.
Hit us up. We be here. We're not going to be here next week. Don't hit us up then.
Don't be mad.
Don't be mad.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Also, I'm going to just say this real quick.
Go ahead, girl.
We're excited to bring these episodes to you on all these streaming platforms for free 99. So if you want to help our business grow, the best way to do that is subscribe and leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix.
Love that. Leave us a
And
rating.
that's what I know about that.
That would be great. Do 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 do. You would be our fave.
Boo boo, meow meow meow, meow meow, meow meow meow.